going on? Hello, hello, beautiful people of the world. How's it going? Welcome. This is a live masterclass. I'm excited that you are here. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. This is live. We are all here together, and I am so psyched because I promise you, this is going to be the best masterclass you will ever attend in 2022. That's my promise to you. It's going to be awesome. Hello, Tim. Hello, Ryan. Hello, Jason. Welcome. If you are here and you could hear me and see my screen, and I should be blocking a little bit of the screen, just type in the comments. I see you. I see you. If you can see my screen, that would be great. And you can hear me. Type in the comments. I see you. Gosh, I hope. Yeah, looks like. Hello, Tim. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Hello, Ryan. So I promise you, this is going to be the best masterclass you will have attended this year. It's going to be awesome. You're going to get so much value from it, and I really respect and appreciate your time. To that point, type in the comments here, what business are you in? What business are you in so we could see really what business you're in. Also, maybe what state you're coming in from. When I say state, I don't mean emotional state, although you can certainly share with me your emotional state. You know, like what city and state you're in. That would be great. Hello, Walter. Hello, Anthony. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. We're just getting started. Type in the comments. Biotech, Orlando. Orlando's like the capital of biotech these days. That's fabulous. All right. So this meme here is why I do what I do, because so much of marketing that you see, and maybe even in your business, it is promotional, it is pushy, it is solution-centric, this is the best thing ever, you should buy it now kind of marketing, and it doesn't work. But I'm going to go through the recipe that does work, that has been working for breakthrough, innovative CEOs that are really killing it this year. And I'm excited to share it with you. I think this will be the most informative masterclass you will be in 2022. So excited to share this with you. So yeah, visual design matters more. So if you can see my screen, you probably see me waving my hands. I think I do. If you're just joining, hopefully you can see me in Zoom in the upper left-hand corner, and comments I see to the right. So type in the comment, who is your ideal customer? This is relevant to the 5-part recipe, because if you don't know who your ideal customer is, or you think, oh, it's everybody, then it's essentially nobody, then all your efforts in marketing is going to fail. So just type in the comments, who is your ideal customer? All right, great. Park City, Utah. Tim, welcome. Okay, CEO, business owner. So what type of business owner? Just be specific, Tim. Fantastic, if you can. So I can tell you who this masterclass is for. It is for CEOs, CXOs, hands-on investors who are selling an innovation, a breakthrough, something that's really helping their customers evolve. And I hope that's you, because you're going to get a ton of value from this masterclass. It's for business owners who want to attract their ideal customers and grow their revenue, 2x or 3x the revenue, and CEOs who really want to align their team and dominate their category, because they can with their innovation. So here's my promise to you. In the next 45 minutes, big promise, I'm going to talk about and show you how to simplify your sales message, even if your solution is complicated, without losing what makes your solution so special and unique. We're going to be talking about how to facilitate unforgettable sales presentations without spending a ton of hours on slides, how to stand out in a very noisy market. And I'm sure you'll agree that your market is noisy and your customers are filled with distractions each day. How to get your prospects to own your proposal. Imagine that whatever you're sending to them, for them to click to accept or to approve, they own it. They own it, as opposed to you pushing it on them. And there's a little hint as to what we're going to be talking about with Yoda over there. And my promise to you is we're going to talk about how to attract ideal customers without wasting $1 on marketing. You can be completely confident on your marketing spend if you follow this recipe. All right, if that sounds cool, say sounds cool in the comments. Hello, Lisa. Welcome. Lisa from Nyack. Awesome. Welcome. So does this sound like you? And if it doesn't sound like you, then maybe you're not going to get so much out of this masterclass. But I can tell you, if that does sound like you, if this is you, you're going to get a ton of value from this. Have you read all these amazing or several of these amazing marketing books like This is Marketing, Seth Godin, Build a Story Brand by Donald Miller, Gap Selling, Keenan, awesome, awesome books. But have you really struggled to actually change your current marketing to implement words and messages and visuals that align with what you know? And if you haven't really done that yet, then you're in the right place. Are you spending money on a graphics gal for your social media or a website guy to upgrade your website, social person, PPC? But what you seem to be missing is a single compelling narrative, a strategic narrative that calls your ideal customers to make the change that they need to be successful, that aligns your team and really gets your customers to work with you. So if that's the case for you, you're in the right place for this 5-part recipe. Do you feel embarrassed when you pull up your sales deck, your slides, that they look more like a document or a proposal than they really are a discussion guide or presentation? Or are you sending out your presentations and emails and hearing nothing back? In fact, I often like to say that when someone says, send me your presentation, that's just a polite way of saying, no, not interested. Do you have these feelings like, gosh, if they only really knew how innovative, how powerful this thing is, this innovation we're selling, that if they only really knew the power of it, it would be a no-brainer. But they don't know. They don't get it from looking at your website. You're in the right place. Are you looking at your competition and they're way out in front for whatever reason, but the features, the solution set, what they're offering to your customers doesn't hold a candle to what you're offering? Are you looking at your website and does it have words or language like this? Software platform drives transparent, data-driven decisions to optimize the blah, blah, blah. Means nothing. Zero, zilch. It does nothing for marketing. Forgive me for getting angry, but I get angry when I see bad marketing, and we're going to be showing you a ton of bad marketing. And if this is yours, if you're using language like this to describe the outcomes that your customers are getting, I can promise you you're in the right place. This is going to be the most powerful masterclass you've been in this year. All right. Another one, creating innovative workflow technologies that drive high reliability. What does that even mean? Who wants to schedule a demo with something that means absolutely nothing? Nobody. Are you looking at your sales process? You know, you've got a complex sale, you've got a solution that does require customization. It's sophisticated. Every customer is unique. Every value proposition is unique. How could you possibly make your sales process or sell messaging simple? If this is what you're thinking, you're in the right place because it actually can be simple. I would say superhuman simple. Do you get this from folks like, I like what you're saying, but I look at your website and I don't get any of that from your site? Are you hiring salespeople? Do you invest in them, but they're telling different stories? They're all not singing from the same hymn sheet. Are you looking at your pipeline? It's going up, but your closed deals is static or going down. You are in the right place for this masterclass. I'm so excited you guys are here. Awesome. We are all here together, real time, and it's great. So thank you. So I've got good news for you. We're going to get to this 5-part recipe in a minute, but the good news is that those are merely symptoms of a much bigger problem that can be solved much easier, much more easily. All right. So the real problem is that you haven't been using the right recipe. It's about the right recipe, and each recipe, the recipe we're going to be presenting today, this 5-part recipe, is in a certain order for a reason, and we're going to be talking about that today. But once you make this change, you're going to have complete confidence in every dollar you spend on marketing. You're going to double the close rate easily for people showing up into your meetings. Your leadership team, sales team, we're going to be all in lockstep, fully aligned, rowing in the right direction. Your Zoom meetings will be unforgettable, leaving your prospects talking for a change. and retap the joy of bringing your innovation to the market that you've created to the market. So first of all, if you guys are still here, type in the comments, do you guys sell an innovation? Just type in 1, I sell an innovation. 1, 2, I do not sell an innovation. Type in 1, sell an innovation. 2, I do not sell an innovation. Love to see what you think on that. Great. All right. So my point that I'm going to be talking about today is who gets to say that your solution is innovative? Is that you? Do you have the authority to say it's innovative? I mean, I'd like to think that my kids are beautiful, but do I get to say that? I mean, who gets to determine that? So a little bit, who am I? And I'll show you my kids in a minute. I have a career of selling multi-million-dollar deals to companies like Apple and Texas Instruments before I started Pitch Kitchen. And what I noticed was the sales decks and the marketing that was thrown over the fence that we sellers had to use sucked. It was terrible. It was slides that were just showing how great our product was, but they did not facilitate the right conversations that we as sellers needed to have. So I decided to take a seller's approach to marketing and totally won every deal that I was using this 12 conversational method for winning deals in sales decks. It was winning. And so I started a side hustle, and I saw a pattern when I was working on projects for customers. There's a pattern of what conversations need to happen in a sales presentation in order for there to be a win. And we worked on literally 2,000 more sales presentations in the last 3 years. And that's where we realized all these insights that I'm going to be sharing with you today. We also trained salespeople, hundreds of them, into using this method. And what we found is this conversational method bleeds over to the marketing you're doing on your website in all your marketing. And we're going to be talking about that today in the 5-part recipe. It's a sales approach to marketing. So this is who I am. If you don't know me, those are my beautiful children. I think they're beautiful. Hope you think they are as well. The woman with sunglasses there is my wife, and I had a newborn baby. Talk about a spread. How lucky am I to have a baby in August, last August. And Henry, named after my grandfather, is 7 months old, and he is just awesome. So that's a little bit about me. And since we're live and since we're post-COVID, I actually think that it's really important to talk about who we are as people. I think there's been a huge shift in how people sell, by the way. Anyway, special offer to folks who stay to the end, so stay tuned for that. And let's now get into the 5-part recipe. All right, so here it is. Recipe number 1. If you're with me, by the way, type in the comments, I'm with you. So I know that you're here. Lisa, Ron, welcome. Sam, Tim, Walt, Jason, Anthony, Andres. All right. Step number 1, recipe number 1, lead a rebellion. Now, what the heck am I talking about? Lead a rebellion. Why lead a rebellion? You're selling an innovation. But if you are selling an innovation, first of all, you shouldn't be saying you're selling an innovation. It should be nowhere on your website that you're selling an innovation, that anything is innovative, anything is breakthrough, anything is revolutionary, because what happens when you say it? Does anyone believe the things you say, or do people believe the things that they believe, the things that they themselves decide? You've decided that what you're selling is an innovation, but do your customers believe that? So focus more on the first part of the recipe, which is what are you rebelling against? So every great CEO espouses a contrarian ideology. Salesforce.com, what did Mark Benioff do? The end of software as we know it. He was on a mission to kill software, end of software. That was what he was rebelling against. He ended up with a multi-billion-dollar company. In a HubSpot, what is HubSpot rebelling against? Rebelling against the idea that the only way to get business is outbound marketing. They cornered the idea of inbound marketing in 2012, and multi-billion-dollar company. So Steve Jobs, Apple, think different. Taking a different approach, rebelling against the status quo is really what you should be doing if you are selling an innovation, because your real competitor is not other solution providers, but it's your customer's fear of actually changing and doing something different, because they have invested time and money and energy and focus and training on building the solutions that they have today. And there you come with your fancy pants solution saying it's innovative. Well, if someone did that to me, I would consider them an enemy, and they would not be a solution provider. That would be, get out of my office, I gotta go. My Zoom office, that is. Simon Sinek, in order to stand out, you have to know what you stand for. So what do you stand for? If you know what you stand for, type in the comments here. What rebellion are you leading? What are you rebelling against? From Gong, being polarizing is great for business. Being clear about what you're rebelling against. What is the thing, the status quo, traditional place that your customers are at today that is not serving them? It's not allowing them to get better, to evolve, to get to that place that they want to get to. If you're selling an innovation, you must be leading rebellion. And if you look at the words that people are using in business to what's their manifesto in 3 or 5 words. Great book, by the way, from Dr. Michelle Mazur. It's called The 3-Word Rebellion. Look at some of these rebellions that have been very successful. I mean, whether you love or hate Donald Trump, those 4 words got him elected president because it spoke to a story, a clarity of purpose that I see good marketing when I see it, and I'm sure you do as well. That does it. Look what all these have in common. These all have in common a rebellion, a change from the status quo. The top one, trust your source, is from the Wall Street Journal. I mean, today more than ever, you need to know where can you trust information, a war of propaganda. Nike's Just Do It, find your beach. That's actually from Corona. So what a great story that tells. They're a beer company, for crying out loud, and they are calling their people to a place that they want to go. Simon Sinek, the how-to, start with why. Own your tomorrow, that is Charles Schwab. All right, so you get the idea. What is your battle cry? If you think you've nailed this part 1 of the 5-part recipe already, type in the comments now, what is your rally cry? What are you calling your people to? Not in a book, a manifesto, not on a homepage or a video. Give me 3 words or 4 words or 5 words tops that calls your people to the change that they already want, the change that they want. They've decided that they want to get to, but they don't know how. And your innovation, which only you can say, is a vehicle, a means to the end. So let's see. Ron, align your team. I like that. I don't know what you're selling, but it sounds like you are helping your customers align their teams. Fantastic. Others, please type in the comments. What is your rally cry if you're clear? All right. And the rebellion also speaks to the promised land. Where is the place that you're taking your people, your tribe, your customers, or your people you serve? If you know who your customers are, type them in the comments. These are the people who are paying your mortgage. These are the people who you're serving so that they can be better. Type in the comments, who is your ideal customer? And also, where are you taking your people? How do you describe that place, that outcome? A world where? So look at what Gong does. They're basically describing a world in the future where you can make sales decisions on reality, because the present is you're making them on opinions. So goodbye opinions, hello reality. ReadyWorks is saying the old world you need to say goodbye to. We're helping you rebel against the laborious, ineffective, time-wasting paper checklists. If you're a nurse at a hospital, get into smart forms. It'll allow you to run a smart hospital. Or behavior science technology. Stop doing this. Start doing this. This is what the rebellion is all about. These are successful companies that are doing this. Definitive is a software company. Their 2-word rebellion is be definitive. Yes, it's an echo on their brand name, but it actually speaks to the promised land that their customers want to get to. They want to be able to make decisions better, and they can't. They're stuck in groupthink, sticky notes, and the loudest voice in the room that makes the decision versus a democratic perspective. It's fabulous, really good. So you'll see the successful companies are doing this, like Kimberly Tableman, CEO of Medicine X. Before, leading a team of 12, couldn't differentiate, failing to book new conversations, missing sales targets, and frankly, terrified that their homepage was just so bad. Afterwards, make your patients partners, really spoke to the transformation her pharmaceutical companies wanted to make. And the call to action is book your strategy session. Afterwards, happy to be closing on new opportunities. Team is aligned. So we're going to wrap up this section number 1. If you believe that you're selling an innovation, and it's okay to believe that because that's what excites you about what you're doing, but you're not leading rebellion, you're not attacking the status quo, you're essentially a follower in a sideshow, and it's not going to be effective. You really need to double down on that. Number 2, before we go into number 2, type in the comments, does lead with rebellion make sense? All right, so Ron, quit managing, start coaching. I love that. Way to go, Ron. Very good. Tim, if that makes sense, type in the comments, makes sense. And we'll get on to the second part of the recipe. Again, I'm really excited to be here with you today. This is going to be the best masterclass you've ever been in this year. All right, start with the problem. And this is so counterintuitive because we're all about marketing our solutions. We're marketing our innovations. It's all happy talk. But we as sellers know taking that approach in selling and marketing fails. It fails miserably. So if you're selling innovation, you got to stop saying it because people believe in the things that they themselves decide, not the things you tell them. I mean, gosh, can you tell someone that buying an electric car is better for them? Can you say that Elon Musk is saying, it is? But does everybody go out and buy electric cars today? No, because people believe the things that they themselves decide. With the Russia war, I can't believe the Ukraine invasion, the propaganda that people believe, but people believe in the things that they themselves decide, not what you tell them. So your marketing must remove and filter out any talk that tells people what they should believe. Instead, you should start with the problem. So I like to use this as a filter. If right now you go to your homepage and ask yourself this single question, is the marketing that we're spending money and dollars on, is our homepage in love with us, our solution, our innovation, our breakthrough, whatever the hell you're selling? Sorry to get passionate about this. Or is it in love with your customer's problem? All right. It's like a black and white thing. The fact is, nobody cares about your why. It's not a knock. Nobody cares about your why. Nobody cares about your company. Nobody cares about your product or your solution. What do people care about? Type in the comments. If you're in sales, you know this. If you're a CEO, you know this. What do people care about? Type in the comments. What do people care about? Let me break some myths. Promoting your solution does not end in selling it. We know this. So why are you doing it? On your homepage or in your PPC ads or in your marketing? Myth number 2, demoing the solution doesn't convince anyone of anything. If that was true, if actually demoing the solution actually convinced people of stuff, then why is it that only 20% of demos end up in sales? All right. Myth number 3, people don't really buy to obtain their goals. Shocking. Like, holy shitsville. Really? Yes. We as sellers know that our customers do not buy to obtain goals. That's not convincing. Why do they buy? They buy to solve problems, to solve their problems. And if you can help them do that and they are no longer okay with the status quo, then they are buying. It's the same as like losing weight. You may want to be really fit and really great shape with your body and your muscles and eating right and awesome beach body. That's a great goal. But who are the people that actually get their bodies in shape, and why do they do that? They do that because their current state becomes clear to them and also becomes untenable in contrast to who they know they are. All right. So starting with the problem, if you can describe their problem better than they can describe that problem themselves, I promise you, in starting with the problem, they will automatically believe you have the best solution. This is so clear. This is a principle on selling. So this is an example of a homepage. It could be just as well a sales deck that starts with the solution, and nobody cares. Nobody. This is a homepage that starts with the problem, starts with the transformation, turning paper into checklists, turning paper checklists into smart forms. That's the transformation. Go from a world of paper to a world of smart technology. Very clear. Smart hospitals use smart forms. You get the idea. Starting with the problem is the way to go. I'm going to show you a ton more examples in this, tied together with a couple of the other recipes. If this makes sense, starting with the problem, how important it is, type in the comments, makes sense. Would love to hear from you. Tim, Sam, Ron, Lisa, hello. Welcome. Andres, type in the comments, makes sense if this makes sense. Awesome. All right. We are live here together, and I am grateful for your time. I know you're going to get value from this. So this is the secret weapon in the recipe. This is this magnetic messaging platform. Now, this is strategic. So it touches sales, it touches marketing. And what's the difference anyway? Isn't it about helping customers and how we're doing that? So the magnetic messaging platform is one that if you can do this, all right, it does very critical things. And this is the key. And you need to do this magnetic messaging because magnets attract. What you're saying in your marketing should be such that it is something that your customers already believe and want. So that the reason why it's important is because solution marketing, promotional marketing doesn't work anymore in a sea of marketing noise. So a magnetic messaging platform does three things. It's essentially a one-page brand script. And yes, I'm referencing that from Donald Middle's Story Brand, but it is that brand script that informs every piece of content you will ever produce for anything and calls your customer to the change that they already want. It's a homepage that has all of the 10 elements of the most highly converting websites. And those 10 elements are similar elements that are a part of the conversations that your salespeople need to be having in the sales deck. So it's three parts. It's a brand script, it's a homepage, and it's a sales deck. And yes, a sales deck, because we're living in a post-COVID world where what you're showing to help tell your story is differentiating what you're selling from anything else out there. And your sales deck needs to be around a presentation, I'd say a discovery guide, and around conversations. We're going to be diving into the three of these in this masterclass. All right. So by the way, I'm showing on my screen now. These are companies that just got at least $8 million from Series A to Series C funding. And you can tell very quickly, are these guys going to fail in 2 years or not? Cloud-based ecosystem, cyber defense at scale. I think I know what they're saying, but why do I need it? I have my own cyber defense. Download 20 million PDFs for free. Okay, very nice. I don't really care. Invisible multi-factor authentication. Why do I need that? I thought I already have that already. Eliminate ransomware and account. Oh, I get that. Eliminate ransomware and account takeovers. If I have that problem, maybe I want that, but why should I choose you? Get a demo, watch the video. Maybe I'll click on it. Goodbye Property management software. Hello Renter management software. I like this. I like this. I don't know exactly what they're selling, but they're telling me that if I believe that I'm sick and tired of property management software, if they have a solution that's going to help me manage my tenants better, I'm in. I like it. Boating experiences worldwide. That's what they're selling. I get it. I get it. Very cool. Very simple. It's kind of like an Uber for renting boats, or I guess it's Airbnb for boats. Speaking of which, I better go to this website and maybe this summer I'll rent a boat. I like it. Very simple. But it doesn't talk to me like get my boating experience, get on my boat. I prefer if it's more active with a verb there. I think that would be better. A modern streaming data platform for all developers. Well, that's nice. Who cares? I think the streaming platform that I use for my organization today is perfectly fine. I don't see any reason to change because you haven't told me on this website that you really understand my problem. Do purposeful work. Hyper automate the rest. And by the way, if not on mute, please put yourself on mute. Okay, I think I got you. Okay, do purposeful work, hypo-automate the West. I don't know what that means, but what these people are selling is so cool. I hope they succeed in spite of their shitty marketing. Anyway, it's not really clear what they're selling. They're actually selling bots. All right, the point of going through that is the story. Your story isn't marketing. It's not like fluff. The story that you're creating is essentially what's going to drive the product you build, get the people who working for your company all on the same page, and it's going to help you formulate the company that you're creating. It is the strategic weapon, and it should be something that is told in a very simple way. So, for example, the old way of talking about your presentation, it would be like a bunch of slides, 20 slides, page numbers on the right-hand corner, white backgrounds, one slide with 8 bullets. And I'm sure type a 1 in the comments if your presentation looks like that. The new way is a choose your own adventure, where you actually use it as a discussion guide, a discovery guide. You're not going to waste people's time dragging them through a document or a math textbook. You're going to use it to collaborate, to have a discussion where each slide is a single bullet point, is a single conversation. That's the new way, because you want to be designing conversations, not slides. That's what the new decks are like. A slide like this, for example, this is a slide where the fundamental conversation here is not to present, but to ask a question, have a discussion on how this customer behavior, this business, how they're asking their customers, how do they really know how profitable they are, or what the cost of retention is, or what the engagement is like? How do you know this? And let that question stand and have a discussion about that question. And what that does is it builds rapport. It clarifies why you're there to help them evolve to get from where they are today to where they want to go. So you want to turn your presentation into a collaboration, not a pitch. You want to have a presentation that gets into a discussion of why change, why now, why you, and why should they trust you. These are essential 4 of the 12 conversations. These are the 12 conversations coming from my own experience. There's also the book that I'm writing called Sales Conversations. And from literally doing thousands of sales presentations of my own, as well as designing them for other companies, I can tell you that these are the only 12 conversations you'll ever have in a complex, multi-figure, 6, 7, 8 figure deal. You're going to have these 12 conversations. There's actually a 13th conversation, which is rapport. It's not on this list. And that's talking about the weather and about COVID. And that's really super important as well. That's critical. Without that, you got nothing. But these are the 12. I'm not going to go into that today in the masterclass. You can screenshot this if you want. This is critical stuff. This is born out of years of presentation development. The old way of talking about your company is that you're the hero of the story. You're coming there with your innovation. How awesome is this? Awesome innovation that's streamlined, that's perfect, that's great, that's just the hero of the story. Nobody cares. You need to take the position that you're the helper of the hero. Your innovation is helping them get to where they want to go, but it's not really the thing. So now's the bad news. Now's the bad news. Thank you, Jason. I saw your note. Okay. Bad news, people. Some of you here aren't going to make it. I'm really sad to say it, but it's true. I work with a lot of startups, and I've seen many of them pass. In fact, I saw from Gartner just last week, 72% of SaaS companies fail by year 3. And it's not because they don't have a great product. Because the truth is that it's not the best product that wins. What wins? Type in the comments if you know. What wins? It's not the best product. So speaking about marketing, your old way of doing it is using expensive agencies that use jargon, buzzwords, and personas. Oh my gosh, personas. If I hear another marketing agency, yes, Tim, the best story. Another marketing agency that's working off personas, what a failure that is. Telling a story about how great your solution is. The new way is using visuals, diagrams, and verbs that connect emotionally, telling a story about how great your customer can be. Your homepage, the old way, is pretty, expensive brochureware. Essentially, that's what it is, where people, you hope they're going to click around all the pages on your website, but they don't. Look at your weblogs. 99% of them are going to your homepage and they're bouncing, and the 1% may book a meeting with you, but they're not going to every page on your site. They're not going to waste their time clicking around. The new way is a functional plan on your homepage that's about them, about how they're going to get from where they are today, because you're empathizing with them, to where they want to go. So that by the time they show up to a sales presentation, they already believe that you understand their problem and they want to know how you can help them get there. So messaging, clearly a winner here. What's most important to actually getting customers? Every word on your homepage is written in a voice. So whose voice is it? Whose voice is it? So what is your voice? Who is it? Is it eventually saying, if you put a persona or character on the voice of your writing, of your marketing, is it saying we're the best? We're like the best thing out there? Or is it saying we make you better. I can promise you that if you distilled your homepage right now, it's one of these two camps. So type in the comments, type in one if you're messaging, and honestly, is it saying we're the best? Type in two if you're saying that the voice is we make you better. Be honest. I mean, it's okay if it's not. That's why you're in this masterclass, because you're going to change this. You're going to change this to make sure it's about them. This is all elements of the secret weapon, which is the magnetic messaging platform. Here are the 10 elements of the most highly converting homepages as distilled from Gong.io research together with StoryBrand research. And I'm going to go through them really quick. You want to start with their aspiration, their affliction. It has to be right underneath that. Who you're selling to, and that's tied to your credibility. What is your solution? How it works? What are the stakes if they get it wrong? Your social proof, like other people that use it. What's their plan so that they can be successful using your product? What can they download in exchange for giving you their email address if they're not already to book a session with you to go to the next stage? And that's 10. So the new websites in 2022 are no longer using contact forms. They're using bot schedulers that gets rid of all that interaction, like that you get lost in the mix, and it books the meeting right then and there. Call to actions are also using this magnetic messaging platform, very strong. They're not these passive learn more, get started BS that does nothing. They are get your impact assessment, or get expert recommendations, or see how this works in your organization. They are very verb oriented and calling people to a very specific action that will get them a benefit right out of the gate. Just want to show a couple shitty websites here as well. Like, this is a company that sells emotional artificial intelligence telemedicine platform. And that's a mouthful. It's a brilliant software, but look at it. Picture of a brain with like computer chips. What are they selling? I have no idea. Like, what is this? Look at the after. Give doctors superpowers. Bring emotional artificial intelligence to patient encounters. What a transformation. Turn virtual patient checkups into deeply insightful interactions. I totally get it now. Invest in the future of telemedicine, call to action. So you get it from the before, the after. The idea is those are using just two. I didn't scroll through the website, just two of that magnetic messaging platform that is derived from the brand script that shows up on the homepage and also shows up in the types of conversations that need to be had in the sales deck. All right. If all that makes sense in using this magnetic messaging platform, type in the comments, makes sense. Again, I promised you this is going to be the best masterclass you will be in 2022. I'm living up to that promise here. If that makes sense, type in the comments, makes sense. All right. Sell the change. So this is about getting your customers to own the proposal. What is the job of a salesperson? Type in the comments, what is the job of a salesperson? And how do you get your customer to own their own proposal? What is the job of the salesperson? Type in the comments. I'll tell you what I think it is. And I spent many years in sales. I can tell you what the job really is, not what it's. Oh, it's to sell. Oh, source. To sign deals. Yeah, right. How's that working for you salespeople? Right. What's the real job of a salesperson? Identify the pain and provide a solution. Yes. Create demand. Thank you, Ron. Create demand. I would say create demand for what they want. I don't know. A lot of customers don't know what they want, like you said. So you have to create demand. And a lot of you are maybe selling innovations that they don't even know that they need, right? So creating demand could be that. But I think getting back to a principle that we use in marketing in this magnetic messaging platform, you can't really convince someone that they want something unless there's some aspect of them that already believe they want it. You're not in the missionary business, and even missionary businesses fail. Anyway, the way to do this is to involve yourself in your customer's story of change. So let's look at what you're really selling. Your customer's in a situation today. Yes, I know you're selling an innovation. That's marvelous. But they're in a current situation. They have some problems. They want to get to a future state. Now, are they really going to go there? Are they going to go there today? Your solution is so innovative. Why isn't it a no-brainer? Why aren't they buying today? They're not, because there's something about their current situation that they don't know about. They don't really realize the impact that's happening every day that they don't change. And your job as a seller is to help influence that change from their current state to their future state, into what they're doing today to what they want to be doing, or how they're doing something today to how they want to be doing it, or where they are today to where they want to go. So what you're really selling along this continuum is a solution, an innovation, if you will, along the continuum. They don't really care about your solution. They care about their future state and they care about their problems. And that's where you need to be selling a movement. That's what you're really selling. You're influencing change, but how do you do that? You do that by getting a that's right. If you're getting a that's right in the minds of your customers on your homepage, in your sales presentation, you're using what Chris Voss says, one of the best books. I'm a disciple of Chris Voss. Go out and read it if you haven't read it already. You want to get in their minds, that's right. You understand me. You get our current situation. You get where we want to go. And just because you've demonstrated that, I believe you. I don't even need to speak to a customer because you've demonstrated that. So what does a slide look like that gets a that's right from customers? A slide like this. This is conversation number 2 of the 12. What are your goals? And you have a conversation about, well, we understand that this is your current world. These are your current stats based on some Google information about your company, about your organization. I can tell you that organizations just like yours have these goals. They're trying to accomplish these things. Do you need to accomplish these things? Which one of these is most important to your goals? This is a discussion about goals, very critical in one of the 12 conversations. So you're not telling in your presentations, you're asking, and you're earning the privilege to be your customer's trusted advisor and guide. That's what any seller wants to do. You want to be that guide. So this is a conversation about problems. So you want to say, well, for customers that look like you, that have this type of situation, these are the things that we're hearing from them, and these are the things that we're helping them resolve. Do any of these problems resonate with you? And you get into the conversation. These are 2 of the 12 conversations you need to have. The other one was goals, this is problems, and this is part of the secret weapon. This is a third of the 12 conversations. This is a plan conversation. If you don't have a very simple plan to walk your customers through about how they're going to get from where they are to where they want to go, I don't care how awesome your solution is, they're not going to go for it. They're going to think of all sorts of objections. It costs too much, takes too long, requires too much effort. So, Trisha, CEO of Behavior Science Technology. I got this from her last week. Oh my gosh, this gave me goosebumps. From using the magnetic messaging platform she used, within minutes of publishing something on LinkedIn, got a demo booked from a CEO of a huge ABA organization. I was delighted. This was actually, you saw this before. She just set up a call with me. Boom, CEO, boom, getting calls. And why is that? Because it's magnetized. It calls to the change that her customers already want, and it works. And you can see how this beautifully lends itself to a slide deck, to conversations, to marketing. All right. Number 5, invest in expert help. If this makes sense so far, number 4, we're good on time. We're going to get to Q&A. If you've got questions, type it in the comments. But if this makes sense, type in the comments, makes sense. Again, makes sense, type in the comments if you're with me. Lisa, Ron, Sam, Tim, Andres, let's hear from you. I'm calling you out. We're here together on this Tuesday or Wednesday or Friday. I don't know what day it is. All right. Invest in expert help is the 5 parts. So every CEO that has done this realized that they really need to get an outsider's perspective. And by the way, this is LinkedIn. It has like an Uber rating you can get for your innovation, by the way. I got that for Pitch Kitchen on LinkedIn. Because when you're inside the bottle, you're inside your innovation, it's hard to see what it really is, what the outcomes your customers really get. And so it really helps to have this outsider that helps your team really pull out those insights that are trapped in everyone's brain about this innovation and help tell the story. But this process also is a process of aligning the people that you're relying on and enrolling them in this strategic narrative that shows up in your sales deck on your homepage. So I like to say, do not hire a marketer, because there's so many shitty marketing agencies out there. In fact, I find it pretty easy to create awesome marketing, because so much marketing is done poorly. I like to say hire a sales enabler, because taking a sales approach to marketing is the winning way. And a sales, I mean in the true sense of the word, being the guide, the trusted advisor, the coach, yelling on the sidelines to your customer to do this, create this, and to be better, to evolve. And yes, the innovation that I'm selling for you, that I like to think is an innovation, I'm putting myself in your shoes, is going to help you get to where you want to go, but it's not the focus. All right. Distraction is the number one thing that we're clearly seeing that's getting in the way. Sales deck here. What an ugly slide this is, but it doesn't have to be. And this speaks about just the thing, how great it is, instead of the same slide illustrated as outcomes, talking about this as a choose your own adventure. Which one of these outcomes is your organization trying to achieve? And you don't know the answer to that as a seller, because your sales presentation is a collaboration. But outcome would make the biggest difference. And you get their buying vision all clear in their minds. So this is what you need to win. You need to use this 5-part recipe. Lead a rebellion, start with the problem, use the magnetic messaging platform, which is the secret weapon, sell the change and influence that change, because that's what you're really selling. You're not selling your innovation, and invest in expert help. So that was my promise. This is my promise to you. That was my promise. How to simplify your message, even if what you're selling is sophisticated and complicated. How to facilitate unforgettable sales conversations without spending a ton on slides. How to stand out in a noisy market, even if you have fierce competition, and the competition could be distraction because your message is magnetized. How to get your prospects to own your proposal by involving yourself as the guide in their story of change, and how to attract ideal customers without wasting a ton of money on marketing. So I would say, now that you've seen this masterclass here, you have a choice to make. And this is the reality. You can keep doing what you're doing with your marketing. And that's fine if you want to do it, keep doing it. Or you can move towards clarity. Clarity using what you already know, because if you're here in this masterclass, you probably say, I know this already. I know this. I know all of this, but you haven't done it yet. And if you really get clear as to what that clarity would do for your business, I think you may not be okay if nothing happens after this masterclass. So here is what I have for you. If you're here and this is of interest to you, in the next 72 hours, I've set aside these 5 30-minute calls to basically go through what I call a messaging recipe assessment to understand where you're currently at and get a game plan going for you to how you can use this recipe to success for your marketing, for your sales. Marketing and sales are really the same thing. I don't know who said they're anything different. They're not. They're helping your customer change. Anyway, my goal is helping you change and getting a game plan to get this done. You can snap that QR code, or you can click on that link. I have very limited time, besides the fact that I've got a 7-month-old. So I'm not offering this to everybody, but the folks who are on this call, I'm happy to set aside this time to see if we can't get you all squared away. When you click on that link, it'll take you to a time booking form, and then a few questions at a type form. So I can do my homework prior to that, so I can come to that call with you with my guns blazing. So if you have any questions, hold on a second. If you have any questions, feel free to type in. I want to just play. This is the CEO from ReadyWorks.
Ties that all together. We were struggling with that a little bit. How do you get a really crisp message about, we're doing 3-4 different things, and you really helped us with that too, which is to really refine the message into a point that we can share with lead gen, with our internal teams, with our customers and friends that we already have to expand within those markets.
Yeah, so that Jordan's great.
We're light years ahead of where we would have been.
So I'm going to just fast forward on him. So this is
what was cool about it is
this is Trish, by the way. So I want you to hear from Trish from Behavior Science Tech.
When you're living everything, day to day, so much gets lost when you're focused on just, trying to make things happen and move forward, that it was a lovely way to even, to kind of see what we built, and it was kind of almost like a little bit of a look back and, where we've come. So
So that's Trish. She's wonderful, by the way. You can certainly reach out to her
Very, very
if you're interested. So this call, by the way, so here's the catch. Like, this call that I'm booking, if you'd like to book this call, if you're here, is for CEOs or business owners, hands-on investors who are selling innovation and want to lead a category, and CEOs who want to align their team, grow their revenue, and I would say dominate their category and win. That's who it's for. And let me tell you a little bit why, like, am I doing this? I am so excited, as you can tell in my voice, to bring this recipe to CEOs that really want to conquer their market, because I've spent a career not only in sales, before that in design. I graduated from the best design school in the world, thinking that it was going to be beautiful design that's going to change the world. Turns out it's not enough. Beautiful design isn't enough to make people change. What it takes is beautiful design, and it takes a clear strategic narrative to make people change. So I'm doing this because I'm driven to do it. I believe that with my combined skills that I've learned together with my natural talents of selling, that really makes me one of probably 5 or 6 people on planet Earth that know how to do this for startups and for existing companies that really want to dominate their market. So there's the link. I should warn you as well, do not book a call with me. And by the way, feel free to type a comments or questions if you have any. Do not book a call with me, because if you do not want to really take a fresh look at your website, at your homepage, at your messaging, at your sales deck, because once we go there, it will kind of be like, you're having a one-night stand, because you're going to see some things and realize things, how much better it can be. So if you have an existing relationship with a marketer that you want to keep and retain, I would say that if you don't book a call with me, because that could be at risk. It's at risk because you're going to go to your marketer and say, can you do this? Can you implement this magnetic messaging platform? Can you do what all these great books are saying we should do? They're going to say, of course I can do that. Of course. But the reality is they didn't. They didn't. They didn't because they don't really know how to do it. They don't have the experience to really implement this. So that's the big warning. That's the catch. I'd say it's going to jeopardize existing relationships, because this stuff is so breakthrough and is really working. Come if you really want to get a fresh look. Any questions or comments, feel free to type in there. Would anyone care to come off of mute? You can do that as well. If not, we're going to wrap up in just a minute. Well, we got Lisa, we got Ron, Sam, Tim, Andres, Walt. Ron, I hear kids playing outside. That's such a beautiful sound, isn't it? I wish I was playing outside. I will be playing outside with Henry later, but yeah. So anyway, I'm here for you. I hope that you got value out of this masterclass. If you did get value out of this masterclass, feel free, let me know that. I want you to be successful, and I want you to totally bring your innovation to market, influence your customers to make that change, and implement this recipe that we're talking about. So with that, I'm going to end this masterclass. I hope it gave you what I promised. I hope this was the best masterclass that you've been to, at least so far in 2022. And do click on this link if you think that you'd like to get some help on this. And I look forward to meeting you. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.